Today we are doing a banded glutes class, and if you don't have a band, that's okay. You don't need it for this class, but it will be more intense if you do have it. So we're going to get started by placing the band over our thighs, just above our knees. Once it's there, once it's secure, I want you to come down to the middle of your mat. Your knees are going to be bent, and then just roll down onto your back carefully and gently, just settling in for today's class. Find a nice neutral spine. Do a couple of pelvic tilts. Finding a nice neutral spine. Maybe roll up through your spine vertebra by vertebra. Holding it here, and then rolling back down. Okay, now that you've found your nice positioning, we're going to do a couple of glute bridges. So I want you to bring your heels in towards your glutes, and you're just going to lift and lower with a flat back. So draw the belly button in, slide the ribs down towards the hips. So there's a slight tuck under of the pelvis. You're not lifting up and arching in the back. We want to protect that lower back as well. And if you're arching in the back, it's really going to cause some tension and some back pain. So you're lifting, pressing through the heels, squeezing the glutes as you lift up, lowering back down. Okay, lower down. I want you to bring your feet about mat distance apart now, and you're going to externally rotate them. So slightly externally rotate so that they're facing outwards. And then you're going to lift up, press on that band so it has that resistance. Lowering it back down with a flat back. Exhale, press. Inhale, lower. Drawing the belly button to the spine. Really think of the core, because this is getting into deep core work. We're working on the glute med, the glute min, and the glute max. So we're getting all the glute muscles, which is so good. Okay, exhale. Lifting up. Inhale, lower. You can really feel the glutes switch on right now. On your next one, I want you to hold it up. Find that positioning. Glutes are high, and you're keeping that core connection. I want you to abduct that right leg to the side without moving the left leg, without moving the pelvis. Bringing it back in, abducting it. Exhale. As you abduct it, don't move the hips. Don't sink in the hips. Keep everything still, just moving that leg. Let's try the other side. Let's go for 3. Left leg. Bringing it back in. So you're working that opposition. This right leg is stabilizing as you take that left knee out to the side, bringing it back to center. Let's go the other side again. Right knee out to the side, abducting it, bringing it back in. So we're working on those stabilizing muscles, the glute max, the glute med. Last one. Then we're going to go to the left-hand side. Try not to wobble. Try and keep that control. Okay. Last one on the left. Bringing it back in. Glutes are on fire, so let's burn it out. Open, close. Exhale as you open, pulse it out. Keep the hips up. Don't lose that tension. Woo! Glutes are burning. Don't drop the hips. Okay. Last one. Opening, closing, lower down. Oh, hug the knees in towards the chest. Wow. Okay, glutes are warm. We're now going to come into a sideline position. Let's come onto your forearm. Knees are bent. You're aligned to the back edge of the mat. So your elbows under your shoulder. You're pushing up out of that side waist. Pushing that top hip away. Feet are in line with the hips. There's a nice long angle. And then you're just going to abduct that top leg. Check here, are you internally or externally rotating? Keep that foot on the same plane as the knee. So as you lift that, you're not sinking in the waist. The only thing that's moving is that leg inside the pelvis, inside that hip socket. Exhale, lift. Keep that tension on the band. Draw the belly button to the spine, so you're recruiting that core. Okay, on your next one, I want you to hold it up. Extend that leg. It's in an isometric hold. Bending it back in, lowering it down. Exhale. Blow out all your air. Inhale, bend it in, lower it down. Stay with me. Try and go slow and controlled, because that's really going to make it effective. That's the thing about Pilates, is we like to use slow and controlled movements, because they are effective and it's time under tension as well. Okay, extend, bend, lower down. Whew, just take a little release here, push that top hip away, flex the feet, and then you're going to open up into your clam. Close again, exhale, open. Now as you do this, press that bottom leg into the mat. You're opening up that knee, you're not opening up the pelvis. The pelvis stays square. Exhale as you open, inhale as you close. Last one. Hold for a second, close. Okay, I want you to bring that foot now to the ceiling, point that foot, lift, lower. Your range won't be a lot, and that's okay. We're working on that internal rotation. So this works on the glute med and the glute min, stabilizing muscles of the pelvis, and internal rotation often gets missed. Okay. Last one, lowering it all back down, and then we're going to go on to the other side. Okay, so setting yourself up here to the back edge of the mat, feet are in line with the hips, elbow underneath the shoulder, push that top hip away, lift and lower that top leg. Exhale, lift. You're just moving that femur inside that hip joint, and you might feel that this side gets more fatigued quicker. That's because we just did a lot of stabilizing work while we were working the other leg. Okay, holding it up, extend that leg, bend it, lowering it down. Slow and control. How slow can you go? Draw that belly button in, push that side waist away, stay with me. Glutes are on fire. It doesn't look like we're doing much, but we're doing a lot. Lowering it back down, flex the feet, open that knee, close it again. Exhale, open, inhale, close. Okay, coming into our clam. Remember, don't open the hips up, keep the hips square, press that knee in towards the mat. Last two, last one. Take the foot to the ceiling, lift, lower. Keep that foot up, we're going into internal rotation. Stabilizing muscles, we're getting everything, and we're getting the core as well. Last one, lowering it down, whoo, tap out that hip, coming down onto your tummy. Okay. So your legs are parallel now. You can rest your forehead on your hands. I'm going to keep mine up so that I can show you what I'm doing. I'm just going to take my mic off so you can hear me. Okay, and so you're going to press that pelvis into the mat. Draw that belly button towards the spine, sliding the ribs down towards the hips. Now we're going to start with the right leg. You're going to lift it up into hip extension. Okay, if you can't lift your leg very high, that's okay. Just go with your range. As long as you feel like you are lifting that leg, lowering it back down, other side. Left side, pressing that hip bone in towards the mat, lowering it back down. And we're just switching sides. So exhale as you lift, coming into hip extension. We don't actually do a lot of hip extension work. We do more flexion, so sitting down at a desk, your hip flexors get very tight. So doing some hip extension work really goes a long way in strengthening the hips, but also making them more mobile, giving them more longevity. On your next one, I want you to hold up your right leg, and you're just going to bend it in, coming into a hamstring curl. Can you lift up a little bit higher? Extend it again. Exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Okay. Make sure you're drawing the abdominals in. Try and keep even weight through the pelvis. Bending it in. Can you feel a nice burn in that hamstring? Okay, I want you to bring the knee to the side of the room, lowering the foot down towards the midline of the body. Exhale. Lifting it back up to center. So we get into external rotation. We work in the deep external rotators of the hip. Let's go for another two. Last one. Extend that leg, lower it down. Okay, other side. Lift, bend, extend. Exhale, bend it in, working those hamstrings. Try and keep tension on that band. Lifting that leg as high as it can go, but keeping that length. So the length is important, really reaching that leg long. Okay, bend it in, external rotation, foot comes across the midline, knee comes out to the side, lifting it back up. So try and not wobble through the body, try and keep that control, try and keep that core connection. Try feel like you are picking up your belly button from the mat. Let's go for 2 more. Last one. Extend it long, lower it down. Okay. So maybe take a nice counter stretch here. A nice shell stretch. A nice deep breath. Are your glutes on fire? Because I know mine are, and I feel like because I'm not getting the sweat, that I'm not necessarily doing anything, but you are really strengthening your body by doing these exercises, even though you are not sweating, you're not depleting your body, and it's just really restorative and strengthening. Okay, so I want you to come down onto your left forearm. We're going to work the right glute. So make sure that you are tucking that band underneath your left knee. It's going to keep it in place. And then you're going to take that right leg back into a donkey kick. And then circle it around, lowering it back down. So we're getting into some circumduction of the hip. We're working the glutes in all planes. Draw that belly button to the spine. And then you're going to change the direction, taking it up, around, and back. So you're really going to feel your glutes tomorrow. And that's okay. We're here to get stronger. Bend it in, extend that leg out long, open the hip out to the side a little bit. And then I want you to lift. How high can you go? And can you slide your ribs down towards your hips? Recruiting that core, lowering it down. Exhale, lift, use your core. Inhale, lower. Okay, let's go for another 4. Working into that glute max. Because everybody wants a big butt these days, but we want to be strong and we want to be functional. We want to be able to pick up our children, lowering it back down. I take the knee out to the side, bending it in. Coming into our fire hydrant. Now, as you take the knee out to the side, you'll notice that the core is working to help you stabilize. So don't shift towards the left. Try and shift more towards that leg that's moving. It's going to recruit the core more. You're going to work harder. Lift it out, extend it, bend it back in, lower it back down. Exhale. Use that core to stabilize. Draw that belly button to spine. Use your breath. The body is working really hard here. Last one. It's getting more intense. Lowering it down, breathing back to a shallow stretch, just stretching out the glute. Now you might have felt that, yes, we were working that right leg, but the left glute, the stabilizing glute, was really working hard. So you felt a nice burn on the left-hand side. We're going to go straight into the other side. So come into your 4-point kneeling position. Place that band underneath your right knee this time. And remember, because that left glute was stabilized, we're going to feel it much quicker and more intensely on this side. Okay. So draw that belly button to the spine. Take that leg back and up into your donkey kick. Circle around and back down. So mobilize in that hip. Let's do another 2 in this direction. Inhale for half the circle. Exhale for the other half. Taking it out, up and around. Okay. Last 2. Last 1. bringing it in, extending it back, opening the hip out to the side, lifting. Ooh, I'm losing my band. Okay, if you lose your band, just fix it and come right back up. Now, how high can you get this leg? And tuck in that rib cage. Lower, lift. Exhale as you lift. Use your breath when it gets hard. It's like anything in life. If it's painful, use your breath. If it's hard, just breathe through it. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, last two. Stay with me. Stay with me. Woo! Lowering it back down. Taking it out to the side, coming into your fire hydrant. We're almost done with class and we're going to do a little bit of a standing section. I want you to make sure the weight is coming forward, not back. Exhale, open out to the side. And then we're going to add on your next one, I want you to open, extend, bend, lower. Let's do 4 here. So let's do another 3, extend, bend, lower. Really working into those glutes. Draw the belly button to the spine as that leg extends. Let's do 1 more. Lowering it back down. Oh. Are your glutes on fire? Okay. I want you to tuck your feet underneath and then rolling up. You're going to come into a standing position. So I'm just going to walk a little bit back from my mat so that I'm in frame. Now, we're going to do a couple of squats here. So I want you to make sure that your feet are slightly externally rotated. And they're a bit further than hip distance apart. You can clasp your hands in front of you, and then we're going to lower down, leading from those glutes, a nice neutral spine as you lower down into your squat. Now you might notice, okay, I can't get very low here. What I want you to focus on is not rounding the back as you lower down. So if you can only go this low, that's okay. We'll work on your range and mobility, but just focus on sticking that butt out. So a slight arch in the back rather than you tucking the pelvis under and rounding in the back. It's going to cause you back pain. And use the band. Put resistance on that band. Exhale, lift up, draw that belly button to the spine as you exhale, rise. Okay, let's go for another 2. 1, hold it here. Can you keep that isometric hold as you pulse out slightly? Last 2, last 1, lifting up. Woo. Shake out the legs. Okay, we're not done yet. So I want you to come now to the middle of your mat. You can place your weight in your right foot, bend slightly here. So I want you hinging slightly forward, flat back, and then take that left foot off the mat. You're going to extend it out next to you, abducting that leg. Find something to focus on, bend it back in. Exhale, out to the side. Keep the hips square as you do this. So you don't want to lift up, lifting over. Keep everything in a straight line. Exhale, take it out to the side. Pick up the pace. Bend it back in, lifting up, shake it out, other side. Hinging at the hips, and then coming, putting that weight into that left foot, extending the right leg out. Find your balance. You might find that the one side's easier than the other. It's totally normal. Pick up the pace. Last one. Bend it back in. Stand back up. Woo. Okay, release the band. Come to the back edge of your mat. And then you're going to roll down vertebra by vertebra, walking your hands out, coming into a nice pike. Just stretching it out. Stretching out those hamstrings. Bend that right knee in. Take it between the hands. Coming into your pigeon. Lifting up through the spine, looking straight ahead. If you want, you can lower down, fold over, keep the hips square. Taking a nice glute stretch. Lifting up. You can reach around, bend that back leg, reach around, grab it, pull that heel in towards the glute. So you're getting a nice stretch in the quad. Release that, taking it down, pressing back up to your pike. Nice big deep breaths. Okay, bring the left knee in between the hands, lifting up, lengthening. If you want, you can lower down, feeling a nice stretch in that left glute. Bend that right leg, lifting up, reach for it, lengthening through the spine, finishing off today's class. Lower it down, and then come to a seated position. And that's it for today's class, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this one, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye.